Hi there, once again. On this video I'm going to show you how you get onto ISC, the Internet Scrabble Club. How you could play a game on ISC. This is done online. You could play against someone from your own school or from your own city or from a completely different place in the world, another country. So I'm just going to go through the steps, how you set it all up, and then how you actually play your turns move by move, how you place your tiles and how you challenge, how you select a player. Okay, so I'm going to keep this very brief and succinct and keep it simple. There are lots of different settings in ISC, but I'm just going to keep it to the bare minimum so that you gain a foothold on how you could use this. All right. So first of all, you need to get onto the ISC portal, which is basically a web page. There is no app associated with this, so you just type in isc.ro. As you can see on the browser, any browser that you have. This works on the phone or an iPad or a tablet or even the PC. It started off about 20 years back on the PC, obviously at that time, but nowadays you could use it on any web browser. So just type in isc.ro. And the next step though is to set yourself up a username. So this is my username. This is like a dummy username I've created. This is not my actual username. This is just for experimental purposes. I've already registered. I've already set up my username and there's a password associated with it. So you would have to press sign up because you wouldn't have these already set up for you. So click on sign up. And then, yeah, it says here, I can't zoom in, but choose your ISC name, choose a password, choose an email address that is associated with it, and obviously choose English. And then you should, your username should be registered after that step, but in some occasions I've noticed an email will be sent to your email address asking for you to verify your username. All right, so after doing that, since I've already registered, I'll just get on to the next stage. Go back to login. Yep, so let me connect first and then I'll take you through the next steps. All right, so I've logged in now. Okay, I've logged in as Rhesus C. Is basically the first part of, well, Rhesus is basically an anagram of Suresh, and the C is there for my surname. There's no other reason except for why I've chosen that username. I go as Scrabble Man, I go as Rhesus C. That's actually my artist name for my musical pursuits, but that's for another time. Now you need to get on to setting up your preferences. So click on this little icon here. This is the fourth one from the top, okay, from the left, fourth. You don't need to choose any options on that, but the one you might need to choose options on is this one, the second option, which is the game settings option. So you got to set up your time. I usually set it up for 20 minutes, which is a fairly reasonable amount of time. And the other thing that you would probably need to click on is make sure you choose the right dictionary. Okay, that's the second most important thing you need to choose. Make sure it's set to CSW. Do not choose any of the other dictionaries. It's set to CSW. And obviously it's good for you to play with a 5-point penalty challenge, so that when you do challenge your opponent's word, if the word turns out to be a valid word, you lose 5 points from your score. All right, and obviously it's English. And then the next one that you need to take care in setting up your options is this one here, opponent profile. So you can choose the ratings of your opponent that you would want to be who would want to play you. All right, so if you're starting off, make sure you set the minimum rating of your opponent to 0 and the maximum to something around about 700 if you're like a novice player. But some of you experienced girls, you can choose a rating of about 900. Yeah, so in this instance maybe I'll just choose how can I get access to my keyboard? I have to move myself out of the way. Let's just say let's choose 700. Okay, and then I think that's all there is to it. Okay, those are the basic settings you need to set up. Okay, just so that you get off the ground. I mean, I can make another video that discuss all the other specifics, but for now, for you to just start a game, that's all you need. Anything else? Yes, and then, but basically take notice of these first two options. This is your working environment, where if you make moves, it'll appear here. Any comments, any instructions by the program, it'll all appear here. So it should be set to command, and this no, it's only this one that you need to take special notice. So up here you have your details, your own name and your opponent. When you start a game, their name would appear here and the score would appear below it, and this is actually the rating. This is my current rating. Okay, so the basic command that you need to start off with is WHO. Let me move myself. Let me keep myself there, because that seems to be a better place for me to position myself. Who space S space, okay, I would say 300. Now what this means is that you are looking for players who have a rating above 300. Okay, S specifies the dictionary that you're looking for. It's called Saupods. I don't want to get into the explanation of that, but who are the players who play the Saupods dictionary, which is the dictionary that you use, that is commonly used in English-speaking countries. CSW, it stands for S, and then you want players who have a rating above 300. If you leave that blank, you'll get players who have a rating below 0. They all appear on that list. So who space S, and then let's just press enter to see what we get. Where's my enter button? Go. Oh, it's go. All right. So basically, you're going to get a list of players. I think it's just still processing. There we go. You got all the players who have a rating above 0. Okay. Now let me just also point out something else. If they have an asterisk next to their name, that means they're currently playing a game. Okay, so you've got to look for people who don't have an asterisk. So let me just choose ITC. All right, and then before you actually choose to play him or her, you actually need to look at their info, because some of these players, they don't take this exercise seriously. What they do is, if they feel they're losing out, if they feel that they're going to lose a game, they actually quit midway. So the Internet Scrabble Club actually profiles those players, and this is how you could identify to what degree a person would do such a thing. Okay, so you've got to go and check this detail. Number of unfinished games. If it is low or very low, then it's a good player to have a game of Scrabble, because more often than not, that player would stick through the entire game. If it is medium or very high or high, do not play a game with them, because if they feel that they are losing the game, they'll just quit midway. All right, so ITC is a good option. But then before that, I would also like to show you this. Now this match option, this is where you set profile for yourself, the requirements. Okay, you already set it up elsewhere, but here again, you can set up the time that you want to, the time you want the game to last for yourself, for your own moves, the dictionary, and yeah, basically it's going through the same thing. There's nothing much different here. All right, so yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's the same thing. So I did click on ITC. Let me start a game with him, but unfortunately he may not want to play with me, because I have such a high rating even in my dummy account. I may have to go and choose someone. So ideally, if you're a novice player, choose someone who's below a rating of 700. If you're slightly senior, maybe choose a player who has a rating below 900. I'm going to have to choose someone who has a rating similar to mine, so that they feel it's an equal matchup. Let me just pause the video and then come back to you. All right, I'm back. So I would just like to point out this window, the third one from the left. This shows all the players that are available for you to play, but you've got to be very careful before you actually play one of them. Check their details thoroughly. Check whether they're playing the dictionary that you're playing. Check whether they're playing the CSW dictionary and the time that they've allocated for themselves. So you'd be surprised if you click on this one, you'll only get 4 minutes to play all your turns, and your opponent gets 4 minutes. That's a bit too quick for me. and also look for the type of challenge that they're using during their games. I usually go for +5. Void challenge means you can keep playing words, and if it's a phony word, what the computer does is it automatically recognizes that it's a phony, and then it lets you play again. I wouldn't advise you to play that way, because it's not the same pressure that you put yourself under when you play face to face, because when you play a phony word, chances are that your opponent would challenge it. Okay, so you don't want to avail yourself that privilege, and then when it comes to real game, it makes it difficult for you to then decide your vocabulary, whether the words you may be half sure of, you may not be able to distinguish them from the words you're very sure of. Okay, so but unfortunately I only have players who want to play void, so I'm just for the demonstration purposes, I'm going to have to, let's see if a new batch of players have come into the scene. No, they all want to play void, so I'm just going to have to choose someone. I'm going to choose Choleric. It's a quick game, so it's useful for the purposes of this video, because I can show you lots of things in a short space of time. The game's now begun. Have I clicked on him? Yep, the game's now begun. All right, now it's oh no. Oh, they quit on me. Oh, well, it's for some reason it just didn't work. Okay, you got to go find someone else. 5 points. Okay, Mazi. Gosh. Let's play this one. I want to play a quick game. Starpy. Let me play Starpy. Have I? Yep, I've started the game. It's Starpy. All right. So when you actually play the game, you basically got to decide where you want to place your word. Okay. So the first letter where you want to place it on the board, you need to go and click that location, whether you want to play horizontally or vertically. So if I click somewhere here, now you can see where the arrow is pointing. It's pointing horizontally. Obviously, if I choose that position to reach up to the center square, I have to move in a horizontal direction. But if I wanted to play a word from there, I see the arrow is pointing horizontally, but no, I have to make it change direction. I have to change direction so that it points vertically down. So if that happens, okay, now the word will be positioned vertically. So let's just say, I want to play ivory. So I want to place the I on the center square. So I want the cursor to point downwards. So then I go and I click each tile by tile after I've decided